Yo, welcome to the GM Podcast. I'm Adriel Miller.
I'm Gavin Bullock.
And today we're just going to be talking about the two teams that eventually lost in the conference finals, the Timberwolves and the Pacers. So we go ahead and get straight into it. How surprised were you that the Timberwolves and the Pacers got to the conference finals?
Both teams I was extremely surprised. Mainly the Timberwolves beating the Nuggets. I had the Nuggets winning the whole thing, or
Agreed.
at least making it out of the West for sure.
Yeah.
That was my biggest surprise. I'm surprised that Indiana made it, but if you told me how they made it, I'm not surprised with the injuries they played against. But at the beginning of this playoffs, if you told me Indiana was in the conference finals, I would not. I would say they lose to Milwaukee first round.
Yeah.
But obviously, injuries, things happen. Jalen Brunson, Game 7. You saw it happen. So I wasn't too surprised when I saw how the Indiana Pacers did it. But yeah,
I think same thing with you. Minnesota, it's crazy that they had that run. I think it was a spectacular run for them. I don't think they have anything to look down upon, honestly. Okay, I guess we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I disagree, but
we'll get to that. And as far as Indiana, like you said, I think they kind of got lucky, and that they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
But as far as that squad, I do see them kind of. They might have the potential to get better, but I definitely don't see them getting to where they were.
No, I think and the problem with the Indiana Pacers is they're going to pay these guys that played good in this playoff run. That I'm not going to say it was a fraud, but they're not this team as constructed when the whole East fully healthy. They're not a conference finals team in my personal opinion. Yeah. So it brings me flashbacks to when Trae Young brought the Hawks to the conference finals, where they pay everybody and bring everybody back, and they're just not that.
I will say though, this is a young squad with great piece. Like Miles Turner is a great piece. Haliburton is only going to.
And I love their play style. Definitely for an 82, they need to be able to execute better down the stretch.
Defend better. But Haliburton is still young. He's going to get better.
He is.
Nembhard showed what he can do. He's only going to continue to grow.
For sure.
TJ McConnell is going to be a good guy for a long time.
Yeah, he definitely upped his stock, depending on if they want to trade him or.
You got to talk about guys like Aaron Nesmith.
Yeah.
And Pascal Siakam. You got to talk about what you want to do with guys like that because
I think Aaron Nesmith you get off of, unless you can bring him back for the low. I think you keep Siakam. I think you have to. You traded for him. You gave away a good bit. Buddy Hield. I think.
Trade.
Yeah. That's the most I would do, but I would try to bring Siakam back.
Yeah. So where do you see the Timberwolves going forward? How excited are you? Or
yeah, I think the Timberwolves will be not as good next year either. Not to the level of Indiana. Like I think if the Timberwolves played the Nuggets again, I think they would lose. I just do. I think obviously the Mavericks next year will be better than them. Yeah. You paid Naz Reid. So, I think they'll be pretty much same position. I'm interested to see what they do. There's a lot of talks about trading Cat. There's a lot of talks. I would run it back, maybe go after a piece, maybe to replace Mike Conley for the future, because everyone else they could keep bringing back. Yeah. Maybe like a Colin Sexton.
Yeah, I've heard Trae Young rumors.
I have too.
Trading Cat for Trae Young. How do you feel about that?
So this playoffs was very matchup based.
Yeah.
So you make that trade, I think you are built to beat Dallas at that point.
Yeah.
You have another guard who you and Ant
can go hand for hand with Kyrie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're less built to beat the Nuggets at that point.
Yeah.
So it's almost pick your poison. The West is not, like I said, I think if the Nuggets play the Mavericks might lose in 5.
Yeah.
I think it was a very matchup based playoffs.
Absolutely. And then Oklahoma City, same way.
Yeah.
They're in those top dogs. Dallas isn't going away. Denver is going to get better next year.
I think it's hard to tell with OKC if they were better than the Timberwolves or the Nuggets, because I think it was a Luka versus Shea matchup in a sense, and y'all had J-Dub, but y'all didn't have a number 2 that can match Kyrie.
No, absolutely not.
So
the whole supporting cast didn't match up, but I do think Oklahoma City will continue to.
They'll get better.
They have the draft capital.
Yeah, they have the highest ceiling of any team.
The cap to get better.
Yeah.
So with the West, I mean, the West is stacked.
Yeah.
Like, there's not the only
OKC can only go up from here.
Exactly. So you're gonna have those top dogs, and really, it's not my concern isn't about how Minnesota is gonna get worse. It's about those teams that they're gonna have to play. I don't know how confident I would be.
Yeah, other teams are getting better while they're kind of
gonna stay the same.
Stay the same, sort of.
But and then next year as well, if you lose in the Western Conference Finals, you didn't get better.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to make it to the finals.
You have to make it over the hump. Yeah.
So, what do you think about the Pacers? Where do you think they go moving forward? How excited are you for them?
I mean, I love watching their play style. It's exciting. They're a fun team to watch. I love Haliburton. Like, he's literally the point guard I would love to play with if I was
a player.
Yeah, any other superstar. It's just going to be hard. Like, you have to pay all these guys, and I just don't think that I don't think they'll take the next step. So they're in a really, really tricky situation, knowing whether is this team really like that team. Like you said, I don't think they'll go back to the conference finals at all. If just one of those teams, Philly, New York, or Philly, New York, or Milwaukee is healthy.
Yeah, they're not gonna. If every team is healthy, they're not gonna make it past the first. Now we have to talk about Philly and Joel Embiid. Will they be healthy? They do have the cap room to make a big move.
The Bucks, will they be healthy?
Milwaukee, will they be healthy?
Tibbs playing everyone 48 minutes. Will they be healthy? So these are things that aren't out of possibility, but all three of them being a thing, I don't know.
Yeah, and then also you got Miami, who's always going to be around.
Yeah, Miami's
They're
always
healthy
going
as
to.
well.
Yeah,
all four of those teams eventually were all hurt this year. So
yeah,
it's like, but they're all obviously better than Indiana.
Yeah, I said before this playoff started, I think I was wrong by saying this, but before the playoffs started, I said I think Indiana is the worst team in the entire playoffs when everyone's healthy.
I ain't gonna lie, I would probably say Cleveland.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't like how
I don't like Cleveland
system at all, but I mean Orlando's going to continue to grow as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, really. You might be right about that. Indiana might have been the worst. I honestly would have picked the Pelicans. If there was a world where the Pelicans and Pacers would have played a series, I might have picked the Pelicans.
Yeah.
For like
even without Zion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay. This is what we're going to get into because I know you've been wanting to talk about this for a while.
Yeah.
What are your criticisms on Ant Edwards and where do you think he will go for? Like, how important do you think this last series was?
Yeah. So I think Anthony Edwards, before I get started, I think he is an amazing player. I think he can be the face of the league. I think he will be the face of the league. He has the charisma, the personality. He has everything it takes to be the face of the league. I love him. With that being said, he's been they took it too far this playoffs and they put him on a pedestal that I don't think. Stop comparing him to my GOAT. Stop.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
Stop comparing him to my GOAT.
I'm gonna continue to compare him.
No, stop. He will never reach that. He will never reach that.
There's no other person in NBA history that you could closely compare to Michael Jordan. If it's a situation, bro, listen, this is
Kobe?
Obviously Kobe, but it's right there. Like Kobe is a carbon copy. So if you want to compare this guy to MJ, this is the guy to compare him to. And that's not even with just basketball. He's having the sneaker influence already.
So you're saying from an influence perspective, from a maybe play style perspective, you're not going on a greatness perspective.
I am going on. He's 22 years old.
What does that mean?
He's
not going to win the finals next year, and he's not going to win the finals after that. He might be 27, and we still talking about, is he going to win it? Because Jokic ain't going anywhere.
When did Michael Jordan win his first finals?
28, 29? I don't. Well,
there you go. He has 7 years to do that.
Okay. But I'm saying I don't think he's going to take that leap and go three-peat. Is that crazy to say that? I don't think he'll go three-peat. Three-peat
isn't going to be the standard that he needs to reach. He just needs to be that great.
As an individual. So he could retire with 2 rings, and it's like good comparison.
He might not have had the blessing as like Scottie Pippen. He might not have had a Scottie Pippen. We see he has Cat, and Cat has
so then he just becomes Jimmy Butler.
No. There's a world where, first off, let's address that.
Okay.
Michael Jordan did have a Scottie Pippen throughout his entire career.
He did, and he would not have won a ring without Scottie Pippen.
Absolutely. Right now, Anthony Edwards has a Karl Anthony Towns who cannot perform in the playoffs like the level he is supposed to.
But then, I'm with you. But he had a great supporting cast this season, in my personal opinion. They won Game 7 in Denver in spite of Anthony Edwards. If I'm not mistaken, he shot.
No, he closed the game for them though.
He closed.
Once again, he's 22 years old. Like there's only room for him to get back. He can shoot the ball. He can get to the rim at will. There's no world where he can get worse than that 22.
But I was hearing people say, "Oh, he's the best player in the world." It's not even close.
In 2 years, Anthony Edwards can be the best player.
He can. I'm not gonna put.
That's 24 years old. When Michael Jordan was 24 years old, that's the first game he dropped 63 against Boston.
Okay.
So you see where the MJ comparisons are coming in right now, right?
From a
What is the only standard you're not letting the comparison fly by is greatness?
Yes. I think he has the personality. I see everything else. But I'm saying from an all-time when his career's over, are we gonna I don't even think he'll be near Jordan. I really don't.
No, this is all Ant has to do. If Ant reaches the greatness as far as an individual player, and he steps up in those big time moments, let me list you some stuff that Ant already has.
Which he hasn't. He hasn't.
He's 22.
So okay. So I'm just
Michael
saying
Jordan
so far.
Michael Jordan was playing with them. Michael Jordan was playing with them when he was 22.
But he has to take a leap. Michael Jordan took a leap that no one in NBA history has taken.
And I'm confident that Ant will do that.
You think he'll take that leap?
Ant, all he has to do
is what?
Is be a superstar. Show up in those big time moments. He already has the charisma. He already has that winning mentality. He already has that dog. He already has that competitive nature. He already has the influence outside of sports. The AE1s are blowing up right now.
That ain't winning him a ring.
It doesn't matter.
Them AE1s ain't winning him a ring.
If he's dropping 28, 7, and 4, and he's always in the mix, and he's doing everything he can,
D-Wade. He's closer to D-Wade.
No, I would literally say by the end of the career, if I was to guess right now, he'd be closer to MJ than he would be to D-Wade.
Closer to MJ than D-Wade?
Bro, I'm not even saying D-Wade is bad. That's how high I am. Bro, D-Wade had one run where he was extremely dominant.
Extremely.
You don't think Ant has that once in his career?
38, averaging 38 in the finals is crazy work. I can't lie. It's the number one option. If you think he'll do
doesn't even have to average. It's gonna be.
Then he has to do.
He's gonna be put. Bro, this past season, he took down the defending champions of the National Basketball Association, who we thought were gonna be a dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
That is while he is 22 years old.
Okay.
This one season, he accomplished something that a great all-time player would do. It doesn't matter that he lost in the Western Conference Finals. He's 22 years old. He's going to continue to get better.
Cool.
He's going to learn from his first Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
This is a guy that, and I'm not going to say he's going to be better than MJ.
He won't.
But
that's not even possible.
But he's going to be closer to MJ than he is going to be to Dwayne Wade. And he might be on Kobe's tier.
Kobe being Bryant.
Kobe won 2 chips as the number 1 option. Can Anthony Edwards? Do you think Anthony Edwards can do that?
Not in Minnesota.
Okay. Do you think Anthony Edwards can do that?
Not in Minnesota.
Because there's going to be a world where he's going to be on that second contract.
Do you think he'll leave Minnesota? That I want to see. I would love to see him leave.
Like I said, most of these stars, once they get to their second contract,
I would love to see him leave Minnesota.
I got my bread. Like,
can you imagine him in Atlanta?
I know he want to do that.
I would love to see that.
But all right, that's a long argument.
Yeah.
What about Tyrese Haliburton? What do you think about his trajectory after this playoffs?
I don't know how to feel. Like, how do you feel about him being the number 1 guy? I don't think he could be the number 1 guy on a championship team. Okay. Let me make that clear. I don't think he could be the number 1 guy, but
he could be the number 2.
He could be the number 2.
I think he could be the number 2
with a very elite wing, a very elite forward.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I like Tyrese Haliburton, but like I said, I can't have how do you feel about paying a guy all this money and then in a big game, it's he'll tough. Shoot 6 shots.
It's tough.
He'll really shoot 6 shots and be okay with that. And if the efficiency isn't bad, he'll shoot 50. He'll go 3 for 6.
Absolutely.
But it's bro, you gotta stay aggressive. We got Aaron Nesmith killing out here.
If next year it's the same story where he's only shooting 7 shots a game, that's where it's gonna be a problem. But if he learns it, because this is a young guy too.
Yeah,
if he learns and develops and he stays aggressive, and he stays efficient. This is a guy he's a winning basketball player.
It
That's what I
definitely
love about Tyrese Haliburton.
He is.
So I do love his trajectory, and I do think Indiana needs to keep him around because these pure points that you could just run a complete offense through that's able to push the ball, shoot
And
the ball,
he can
pass
score.
the
He
ball.
can score.
He can score the rock.
He can score
shoot.
the rock. He can score the
It's a
rock.
ugly. It's a funky.
It goes in.
Shot, but it goes in.
A little streaky, but it goes in.
And Rudy Gobert. We can touch on Rudy Gobert because it's going to be quick and short. I hate his ass. I'll be real. I don't think Rudy Gobert is a good basketball player whatsoever. I think he's good in the regular season to maybe block some shots and get him to the playoffs. But once you touch that playoffs, it's like, okay, was this shit worth it?
I think the biggest thing with Rudy Gobert is I think defensive versatility is more valuable than just rim protection.
Exactly.
Which is why.
That's why he got switched on. You want to demonstrate real quick? Should we demonstrate? Let's demonstrate. So you're Luka.
Okay.
I'm Rudy.
Okay.
Let's do this. So we're gonna get switched off. I'm guarding Cat right here.
Okay.
And then I'm here, right? Just do. So if you're already like this, trying to wonder how are you a defensive player of the year like that?
He just can't guard.
How can you be a defensive player of the year like that?
Why
Mind you, this is the defensive player of the year. You asked him to make stops on anybody.
Yeah.
Now, it would be different if he sat. If he sat and made him take a tough shot.
Yeah, if
Luka was playing.
He was playing with him.
Okay, this is true.
And you got your teammate. You saw Jaden McDaniels' face. He was like, oh, I shouldn't have switched or I should have doubled.
If I'm Jaden McDaniels, I don't give a damn if I was already too deep in the paint.
Yeah.
Bro.
Just run up,
Bro, let him throw a lob.
Yeah.
Because
you can live with two.
You can live with a two.
You can live with a two. You still live after a two. That three killed him.
So, yeah, there's no more to talk about Rudy Gobert. Let's talk about Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
This is a guy who I'm a big Karl Anthony Towns fan because his ability is ridiculous. Like even
after all that,
like in Kentucky, I thought he was gonna be a beast. He was doing some crazy stuff, and his ability is still. He might be. No, I'm not gonna say that because his shot looks the prettiest as the big man.
Yeah, no, he's
talented, but he's not the best shooter because he has.
I wanted him in Boston at one point.
Yeah, he's not efficient enough right now.
Like Porzingis better.
Cat is still young. Not that young, but he's still young. He has time to grow.
I don't think he gets better. He's 29. Maybe he gets more consistent. That's the only thing I can say.
That's what I'm heading towards. Yeah. I think if he finds a way to balance him being a big man and going,
he needs an in between game.
He needs that in between because that just spot up.
Yeah,
bro, that's
he needs in between
game. They can get another guy.
He needs to show a post or show a midi.
And it's like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels weren't bad 3-point shooting options.
No, they weren't.
In the entire playoffs.
They weren't.
They don't need that from you.
Yeah.
That's why they bring Naz Reid in, bro. You got to be a dominant offense because Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
He can't put the orange ball in the basket.
Yeah, he can't.
He's not capable of doing that.
He doesn't have that ability. He's just not that guy.
So I hope and I do love Cat and I think Cat gets too much hate, but warranted hate.
Yeah.
But he needs to find a way to be more effective on that off because even in the Denver series, he was extremely effective defensively against.
Oh yeah, he was. Jokic. Yeah, I'd rather have him on than Gobert.
That's why I would trade. Bro, I would trade Gobert for
But no one's picking up that contract.
Yeah, but
no one's picking up that contract.
You can get like a Pepsi vending machine. Like I don't know, a Pepsi vending machine. What's a good some Skittle gummies?
I'm a goldfish guy.
Goldfish. See, if you can get a goldfish,
we'll just go variety box.
You get the variety box.
Variety box and an 8-pack of Gatorades.
Yeah, I would go for that. 100%.
For Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. Maybe some cash considerations. Send me 100 to give to my new rookies. Go get Roof Chris on me. But I mean, you got to get rid
Rudy
of
slander, bro.
I love it.
Why is Rudy catching? I live for Rudy slander. But I do think, like I said, he's 22. But Anthony Edwards was third player at best in this Mavs series. Like obviously he's better than Kyrie, but you get what I'm saying. Like he didn't play. Like there wasn't one game. There was one game they lost. No.
And but let me slow you down. Like you was talking about how Chauncey Billups wasn't how Tatum was closer to the guys I named than Chauncey Billups.
Yeah.
We're talking about Kyrie Irving, who's one of the best clutch players of all time, and Luka Doncic, who's going to end up as a top 15 player of all time. So let's.
Luka Doncic will end up being a better all-time player than Anthony Edwards.
Bro. See, I'm not gonna lie though. That's not that crazy of a take,
It's not.
And I think you wanted an argument out of me right there.
But you know Luka's that guy.
But I don't.
You know that.
I don't agree with you though.
You don't agree.
But I see the take.
Yeah.
And I can and him being in a position to win a finals right now, it's like, damn, like he can win a ring right now.
If he take down Celtics, look at his run.
Yeah, no, that's a crazy run.
That's a crazy run, especially how we finna. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy run, but like he doesn't have everything Ant has. He can't guard.
He can't.
He turns.
He can't. He can't guard.
In the postseason,
he does. He gets loose balls. Like I like the way Luka's playing defensively.
The way he's playing, but
yeah,
I like Ant's ceiling because there's not a thing he cannot do, and he does play with that electric, and that means something to me. Like influence.
And that's the thing, and that's where I get like you're right though. The defense is what sets him apart from Luka. If you want to make that argument, you can't really argue on the offensive end.
No, offensively, I don't know if there's a single human ever on the face of the earth that has been as good as Luka offensively.
Yeah, Luka's good because he's averaging.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because he's averaging 35, but he's showing it's not like Harden. Like he's showing you it translates to winning.
Exactly.
And all he needs is one co-star to give him 20 points plus. Yeah. That's all he needs, and he can get you and dunkers in the dunk spot.
Exactly.
Lively's gonna be good. We're not gonna talk too much about it. Lively's gonna be really good in this league. Didn't miss one shot in the conference finals. That's a crazy stat, but that's all I pretty much have.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This was a heated video, spirited video.
That was good. A lot of passion.
Peace out.